Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm JC. Welcome to Lenox Justifier of Innocence. I wanted to touch base with you guys. I'm really excited to announce that the costumes for a few of the other characters are almost finished, so you're going to be meeting them hopefully in this upcoming week. You'll meet a couple of them. We have 4 costumes almost finished for the characters Amalia, Olgard, Zeus, and Demeter. I'm going to give you a little snapshot so you're going to see some of the pictures as to what they look like and how the costumes are coming along. It'll be more polished by the time you see them in the series, in the videos. So, but it's really exciting. I'd like to share with you the process as well as the final production. So that'll be coming in the next week or so. So I'm super excited about that. Also too, I wanted to see how you guys felt about the ending of We About to Get Ghetto. See if you had any thoughts, or if any of you have any stories that you'd like us to write about, let me know. I will do so. I am currently in the process of putting together a story for next week's episode, so don't mind the noise. Me and Mr. Buddy are in here in my salon. So he's right over there. He's ready to go home already, but he's gonna have to wait a few minutes because I wanted to talk to you guys and also read you a little bit from the upcoming book. So in the next couple of weeks, the new book is gonna be going into production, and it does take some time for that to all get processed. They have to go through the editing process and insert all the artwork and so forth. But now, being that it will be the second book in the series, it should go a lot faster. But I did want to give you a little preview as to what's coming. So I will be reading this to you, and if you want to give me some feedback, because we're still in the early stages and can also still do some editing and so forth, I'd greatly appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy what I'm about to read you. As Josephine was calling Olgard, she decided to scroll through her Facebook to see what was going on in the normal world, when she came across a post that nearly made her heart stop. There was a post from an animal rights association about a dentist who had illegally killed a lion in a sanctuary for sport. The manner in which this man lured this magnificent creature that was minding its own business and then tortured it was unbearable to read. Her blood boiled, and she began to have this surge of energy that knocked the power out. She read that the only punishment this man had received for his evil, sadistic ways was fines and having his license pulled. He lived in Minnesota, where Olgard had previously lived with his family before they passed. Josephine said to Amalia, "I'm gonna go see Olgard. See if you can get the power back up, and we'll figure out the Korean mission when I get back. It'll be a few hours." Amalia looked at Josephine confused. "Are you okay? What happened?" she asked. Josephine told her to look at the Facebook news feed. "I'm gonna take care of this now. That evil son of a bitch is going to suffer for what he did. I could rip him apart with my bare hands." Amalia could feel her rage and her sadness. The thing she could not tolerate the most was the senseless harming of innocence. There's nothing that was going to stop her from delivering true justice. Josephine went to Olgard's in a blind rage. She was haunted from the images of what had happened to Cecil. She couldn't get him out of her head, and her feelings intensified as she drove. By the time she got to Olgard, she was 7'4" Lenox, ready to unleash her fury. Olgard came running out of the house. "What happened?" he asked. "What are you thinking? Somebody could have seen you." Lenox replied, "I don't care." She told him what happened, and Olgard knew exactly where to find this man. Olgard also was aware that there was no talking her out of going, and he understood her feelings. Senseless cruelty cannot continue to go unpunished. If you can hurt an innocent animal that has done nothing to you, imagine the pain and suffering you can do to a human being. These people need to be punished. Lenox told him there was no time to book a flight. She was going to engage the jets in her boots and head over there, leaping over mountaintops. Olgard told her that she could get there peak by peak and running faster than lightning speed. Just please make sure you are not seen. Stay as high as possible and go as quickly as possible to remain undetected. Lenox put his address in her smartphone GPS and took off. Before Olgard could even tell her about the recruits for the North Korean mission, she was moving so quickly and swiftly through the different weather patterns that all you could see was her as if she was flying. There she was in his front yard, a towering force. She walked up to the door and kicked it in with one shot, pulling half the front door off along with the sheetrock. He got up and went and cowered in the corner of his living room, begging her not to hurt him. She stood over him, all 7'4" of her, and put her foot on his neck. Lenox tilted her head to the side, and she thought to herself, it would be so easy to crush your throat and end your life, but I will not bless you with that mercy. He peed himself, whimpering in fear. Lenox said to him, "You are not so tough without your arrows, with an uncaged beast." She put her hand up, and he began to convulse. In his mind, he was envisioning himself, luring himself out of the sanctuary. The piercing, burning pain of the arrows were going through his ribs, ripping through his flesh as he tried to run. He felt fear, betrayal, and pain overwhelming him. Humans had gained his trust just to make him vulnerable prey. Thoughts of his cubs came to mind. They would probably not survive without him because they were so young. His wife being left behind to fend for them all alone. Tears began to roll down his cheek, and his breath slowed, knowing what was to come. He laid there bleeding out, growing more faint by the moment for days in agony. This man was taking pleasure in watching me die slowly. Then he felt his skin being cut away from his body. He was skinned alive, and while his pain was so unbearable, all he could do was think about his family and the legacy that was being destroyed. Their pride will cease to exist. He meekly looked up with shallow breaths to see an axe coming for his head as it was cut off. His head rolled, and for a split second, he witnessed his skinless, headless body, and then it all went dark. The dentist laid there convulsing. He began to feel and relive these events over and over again. Tears were pouring down out of his eyes, and then he was vomiting. He was watching himself brutalize his own being over and over again, feeling every bit of pain, the fear, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the loss of his family, and his pride ceasing to exist without him. After watching him suffer, Lenox's rage slightly subsided. She had enough of these sick people hurting innocents with little to no consequences whatsoever. Determined to get to the source of this evil, she wanted to end it once and for all. Good people are suffering. Good animals are suffering. And it's time. It's time to fight back and take back humanity. As she left, she called the authorities, reporting what appeared to be a robbery so that they could come and pick him up. When he was found, he would live his remaining days in a padded cell. Dark evil like this, like his, is unlikely to repent. As she made her way back to the sanctuary, her pain was still great. She can still feel that Cecil was in discomfort and his soul was not at peace. He showed himself to her in the clouds above the mountains. All he wanted to know was if his cubs and his wife were still alive and doing well. Lenox vowed to him that she was going to follow up and she would see to it that they were going to be taken care of and that nothing like this would happen on her watch going forward. With that, she headed back to the sanctuary where they prepared for their North Korean mission. So this was a small tidbit from the next book. It's one of the storylines, a short storyline within the book that is based on a true event. Obviously, the justice that was carried out by Lenox is not a true event, but I kind of wish it would be, because these type of people that just go around, hurting innocent creatures for sport, and what are they going to do, little kids and to us? If they can just hurt something for pleasure. Humans are the only ones that kill for pleasure, not out of necessity, and that needs to stop. And it's my opinion, but I feel that it is evil. And if you can hurt something that's not hurting you, and it's not self-defense, and it's not for survival, then that is a form of evil, and that needs to be stopped. So Lenox takes this very seriously, and she goes out and tries to avenge these occurrences. So that's a little bit of a tidbit from the next story. So I will be saying goodbye for today, and hopefully next week you will get to meet Zeus and Demeter to start. I am going to be featuring some of the pictures from the costumes that have been almost completed. So hopefully you enjoy that. And I really hope you guys are having an awesome week. It's been, I know at least here in Florida, the weather has been perfection. So hopefully you guys are experiencing a good week and you have a great weekend planned. And I will see you next week with Alexa as we go over some more adventures. We're gonna do like a little bit more, some skits, and add a little humor to it, so that to keep it fun and keep it interactive. So I will see you next week. I hope you guys are having a great one, and we'll talk soon. God bless.